is that it'll stop the body from healing itself. But in extreme cases, sometimes I've had to do that because the client couldn't take anymore, you know. Sometimes it'll rat you out if it's too painful and there's just too much misery involved in the body pulling this rancid stuff out of itself. So, but you want to go through that. And you want to get high up on those fruits and rest. Remember, animals don't eat when they get sick. They don't go run around. They relax. And if you study the autonomic nervous system and your neurotransmitters, you'll find that when you relax, your eliminative organs eliminate better. And that's what you get into your dopamines and things. When you get into norepinephrines or your epinephrines, that's for activity, and that actually shuts down elimination. So relaxation is a real key to healing crises. Like I said, they're short. There's emotional healing crisis. This is a spiritual journey. This isn't a physical journey. This is a spiritual journey. Remember, your soul, a spiritual being, having a physical experience here. So it is very spiritually uplifting. Children that detox can increase their intellect up to 40%. I've got children that are so smart that teachers can't stand them because they make you think. You know, we're not a thinking species, and I don't mean thinking in terms of conditioned thought. I mean thinking in terms of consciousness and awareness. You know, more of that. And that's what we lack as humans. We're like herd cattle. Someone says something and we believe it. I don't want you to believe what I say. I want you to wear the robe, get it on there, journey, go down this journey, and if you like it and you experience it, you'll know exactly what it's like. Don't believe anybody. Try it on yourself. Get knowledged up, you know, and you'll see the difference. Anyway, I remember one lady that she was walking around the house. Now, when you have weak adrenal glands and low blood pressures and anxieties, you've got some emotional karma going on there. So this lady remembered I was talking to her about that, and so she got a lot of pain in one of her hips, and it actually forced her to sit down on her floor in her house. And I told her to relax and just kind of listen and look at what's going on inside of her thoughts. And she remembered back when she was a little girl and she was hiding behind the door and her parents were arguing about money. And she said she decided then she wasn't going to eat very much to save her parents' money. And as soon as she saw that and she released that and gave it love, the pain went away and never came back. So this is the cool thing about these things. There's so much interaction between the etheric bodies and the human body. And remember, all the chakras are the endocrine glands, are vital centers that control everything. So always go for health because there's so much we don't know. The Supreme Being, it can be so complex that hard for the human mind to even grasp it. So when you get more simplistic, you can grasp more, you can see more. So the healing crisis, I don't have long to talk to you about these, but there's a lot of them. Again, old injuries. A lot of people, sometimes you don't feel weaknesses. That's why I like iridology. Iridology is such a cool science. And anybody that boo-hoos it never took it on and understood it, because I'm telling you, it was discovered by a surgeon in 1853. But you know what? We found a couple of books in the 1500s and then the 1600s about eye diagnosis. But the nice thing about the iris is you can see all your genetics, you can see all your cells, you can see your lymphatic system, and there's no invasive procedure, there's no radiation to it. It's just a picture. And this is medical doctors need to use these things. We're getting too invasive in tissue, and you don't need to. It's easy to diagnose people, you know, and it's easy to fix them. You don't need to hurt anybody to fix them. I mean, that's ridiculous. And so this is kind of the things we need to get into. But I can see weaknesses in your body that you don't know about, but find out during detox. Because detox will bring out your weaknesses, even the genetics, and it'll start healing them, and you'll feel them. It could be a shoulder, it could be a knee, it could be a hip. The nice thing is the body will heal it, but it lets you know about it first. So it's interesting that healing crisis matches disease symptoms in terms of medical thinking. And that's simply because there's 2 times you feel a symptom. 2 times you feel a symptom. 1 when you create it, and 2 when you eliminate it. Isn't that interesting? So it's not a pain-free journey by no means, and for those that have the adrenals, you came in with some emotional baggage here when you took on this body. Could be some emotional things. Some people break down and just cry, and that's okay. Let it out. You know, just let it out and live in the now. You can't go back and unwind things. That's a ridiculous journey. You don't want to live to the future because it isn't here. Your now is your future. And if you're always living in the now, all this karma will burn off of you and you will always be happy because you're centered. And then your relationships are better because they're not based upon desires or wants or codependency type things, because you totally have yourself, because that's all you have. That's all you have. Now, I said this earlier on a video, there's nowhere you can go that you're not. You're always present. Your mind takes you away from that awareness, and your emotions can take you away from that awareness and can get you in trouble. But it always makes you feel deficient, and it's not deficient for something else, it's deficient for yourself. You know, because your sukha, your joy, your ecstasy is yourself. Because that's all you have, and not as a narcissistic thinking, and not as an ego, beyond the ego. And so you got to go beyond the ego if you want to know what God is. You got to go beyond the small you to get to the big you, so to speak. But I'm trying to think here. I'm going to bring this to a close in healing crisis. But there are all kinds. Rashes are the most common. Cold and flus are most common. A lot of mucus. Those people have a lot of pain in the head, and this stuff coming out can be traumatic. Pneumonia, bronchitis. Nobody dies from pneumonia in a detoxification. I mean, look at the people that died from pneumonia in hospitals and stuff. That's ridiculous. Most of them probably die from you know, the antibiotics, especially Cipro or something like that. But you should never die from anything like that. I've had the worst cases of double pneumonias come in here, and we clean them right out. Same thing with the E. coli, spider bites, poisonous bites. The herbs are fantastic for poisonous bites, recluse spider bites, scorpion bites, things like this. Detox that lymph system. That's the key. There's only 2 fluids and a bunch of cells. Keep remembering that. So I really appreciate your listening to my videos again. I love you all. You're a great group of people. I appreciate the comments. It helps build me up too. And it's been a long journey.